Okay, folks, bring yourself into the center of your mat. And we shall take a moment to breathe. So just nestle your bum into the floor. Let your shoulders lift and loosen, lift and loosen. And take some deep breaths in. Let your chest expand. And as you exhale, let your belly become nice and soft. And then once you feel like you're in your best seated position, I want you to close your eyes and breathe. Just take a moment to think about the area of your body that you would like to focus on today. Whether that be a larger area like the whole of your legs or the whole of the top part of your body, or if it's something more specific. And just hold that part of your body in your mind. In fact, send your awareness to it and just give those muscles in that area that you've chosen a little tweak, a little squeeze, just to see how they're feeling today. As we remind ourselves that in these power classes, they are there to push you. You are under no obligation to keep up. Good. Now, as you inhale, I want you to draw your arms up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers nice and wide. What's going on with my watch? Good. And then we're going to draw our elbows down in line with our shoulders, puff our chest out, lift it up. Good. And then we're going to round our elbows towards one another before reaching those arms back up. And then we're going to make this little cycle of bringing the elbows together, lifting them up, squeezing the shoulder blades together, rounding them, pushing those hands up. Good. One more. And then when you next reach your hands towards the ceiling, I want you to drop your left hand to the floor, reach over with your right, so you're stretching the side of your body, turn to look towards the ceiling. And then windmill your hands all the way over. Do the same thing on the other side. Good. Come back to center. Take the hands a little bit behind you and up onto the fingertips. Roll the shoulders back. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, press your chest forwards and fold. As far forwards as your body enables you to. Good. Let's take a deep breath in as you roll yourself all the way back up. Shake out your wrists and your fingers. Turn your head from side to side. And then nice and slowly make your way onto all fours onto the mat. And start to move your body round in circles. Okay, so either going clockwise or anti-clockwise, really working into your knees and your wrists here. Good, let's go in the opposite direction to whichever direction you were going in. So we're just trying to loosen ourselves up. So exaggerate all of your movements here. And then reconnect in with your breath. Good, then bring yourself back to a neutral spine. We're going to bring our hands a little bit further forwards, press our fingers in nice and firmly, toes are tucked. We're going to lift ourselves up and back into downward facing dog. Good, now pull forwards into a plank and then go back into downward facing dog. And keep these movements going, nice and steady. Moving at whatever pace you see fit. Just want you here to move all of the muscles across your arms, shoulders, back, legs, hips, and keep the movements going nice and steady. Bringing your breath in. Seeing how it feels just to move these forwards and backwards motions. Good, see if you can pick the pace up a little bit. Keep moving, keep breathing. Good, now next time you come forward into a plank, stay there. Good. Look forwards. Hold yourself nice and steady. Press the floor away so you're feeling nice and tall. Good. Slowly let the right leg lift away from the floor. Drop it back down. Left legs lift away. Drop it back down. Good. Lift yourself up and back into downward facing dog. Good. Your heart rate should be a little higher now. So take a deep breath in. And a strong breath out. Good. Next time you inhale, ripple forwards. Again, into a plank. But this time we're going to drop ourselves down onto our forearms. Now still hold yourself nice and steady here. Legs pressing back. Bum lifts a little bit. Again, lift your right leg away from the floor. Drop it back down. Left leg lifts. Drop it back down. Good. Engage your core muscles here. Good. Then send your hips high into a dolphin pose. And breathe. Long breath in. Steady breath out. Good. Pull forwards again into lower plank and then lift yourself up onto your hands into high plank. Good. Take yourself back into downward facing dog. We're going to do a side stretch. So bring your right hand and try and take hold of the outside of your left shin and look underneath your left armpit. Breathe. Good. Let's swap it over. Left hand comes to tap the right shin. And breathe. Good. Bring that hand back. Pull your body forwards, nice and slowly, so we come back into plank. Heels back, bum slightly lifts, chest lifts, look forwards, breathe. Good, one more inhale. And exhale. Good, let's take it down through a chaturanga here. Pull yourself forwards and up into upward facing dog. Breathe. Good, tuck your toes. Take yourself back, downward facing dog. Good, let's let the left leg float up towards the ceiling. Good, make that leg nice and strong, toes point down. Now come high on your right toes and then curl this left leg underneath you. Step the foot up in between your hands. Good. Take that left foot out towards the side so you can bring your left hand onto the inside of that knee. Take the right hand towards the top right corner of your mat. Turn to the left and lift your left arm up. Strengthen your back leg. Breathe. Good, we're going to drop our left hand back down onto the inside, draw our right hand in line with the left, and then we're going to step our back leg up so it's on the outside of the right hand. Okay, so we should have our legs and our hands like this. Good, now lift all 10 toes away from the floor, press your bum back, and then slowly draw yourself up, hands into a prayer, into a deep squat. Good, press the floor away, come all the way up. Reach your hands towards the ceiling, so you should be at the top of your mat here. Good, now just as you came up, we're gonna go down the same way. Deep squat, toes lifted. Good, plant your hands back down onto the mat. Good, step your right leg all the way back, so you're going backwards. It's like someone's hip reverse, and you're going back through those motions. Good, bring that left foot back in towards the center, so we come into a runner's lunge. Okay, so your left hand can now go onto the outside of that left foot. Good, plant your hands into the floor and reach that left leg all the way back and up, three-leg dog. Good, bend the left knee, open the hips to the side, high on the right toes, breathe. Good, then square yourself back to the floor, re-extend your left leg and drop it down halfway. Okay, so you're hovering it about halfway between lifted and lowered. Good, now pull yourself forwards into a plank, keep that leg where it is, lower yourself down through chaturanga and back into cobra. Remember, you can take child's pose at any time. Let's take ourselves back into downward facing dog. Good, let's do all of that again, just on the other side. So when you're ready, right leg lifts, toes point down, heel presses back, high on the left toes. Good, curl this leg underneath you. Step it up, in between your hands. Good, shimmy your right foot towards the right hand side of the mat, so you can bring your right hand in. Left hand towards the left corner of the mat. Turn to the right, reach that right arm up. Good, breathe. Strengthen your back leg, don't let it droop. Breathe. Good, let's drop our right hand back down onto the mat, onto the inside of your right foot. Good, in one motion, if you can, let's step that left foot onto the outside. Find that deep squat, and then bring your hands up towards your chest. 10 toes lift away from the floor. Good, stick your bum back. Good, now let's inhale and press into the floor. Reach ourselves nice and tall. Good, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, go back into that deep squat. Good, pop your hands back down onto the floor, send your left leg back. Good, keep that leg nice and strong as you start to shimmy your right foot back in towards the center. Good, plant your hands down into the floor and send your right leg back and up. Three-leg dog. Straighten that leg out. Good, lower it halfway and then pull forwards into your plank. Good, down through chaturanga and up into upward facing dog. Open your chest, breathe. Good, tuck your toes and then press yourself back into downward facing dog. Good, let's give the bum a little wiggle here. Long breath in. Steady breath out. Good. We're going to bring our right hand back and into the center of the mat. We're going to send the left hand behind it. We're going to bring the right hand behind that. And we're going to keep doing this until we get towards the back of the mat. Good. Now unfurl your body and reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Good. Fold yourself back down towards the floor. Good. Again, right hand forwards, left hand forwards, right hand forwards, like you're an animal. Slowly pacing your way back up to the mat into downward facing dog. Good. When you're ready, we're going to lift our left leg up. Again, high on the right toes here. Curl this leg underneath you. See if you can hover your left foot above where you're about to place it for a half second before plonking that foot down. Just see what you're able to do. Good, we're going to drag our right foot up the mat a little bit until we can get the heel down onto the floor. Right toes are pointing just a little off to the right hand side. So it's warrior one footing. Good, inhale, let's lift. Keep a bend in that front knee. Good. Now let's shimmy the left foot a little bit further to the left hand side again. Not all the way, maybe halfway. Good, still with the bend into the knee. Keep reaching your arms up. Good, now in one movement, we're gonna reach the body forwards and arms. Arms keep going and lift to the back of the room. So you're bowing forwards over your left knee. Good, now from here, lift the heel of your right foot. Then see if you can step into your left foot, keeping yourself nice and low. Reach, right leg up. Hold it there, nice and steady. Good, now we're going to curl this knee underneath us. Keep that steady. Reach that knee nice and high. Good, once you've reached it nice and high, we're going to cross that foot over the knee like this. And then we are going to sink back down. Taking the arms nice and wide. Stick your bum back. And fold yourself as close to your front knee as you can. Good. Let's start to rise all the way back up. Take that knee back up. Still at the top of our mat. Hands go behind us. Good. Reverse it. Take that leg all the way back. Good. Before popping it back down onto the floor where you had it before. Reaching yourself up into a warrior one. Good. Hands come down into a prayer. Turn to the left. See if you can touch your right elbow to your left knee and look to the left. Breathe. Good. Back to center. Drop your hands to the floor and step both feet back into a plank. Good. Take a deep breath in. Look forwards. And then chaturanga yourself through the floor, not through the floor, towards the floor, and then up into a cobra. Good. Let your shoulders relax. Good. Then tuck your toes and take yourself back into downward facing dog. Good. When you're ready, right leg lifts. High on the left toes. Good. Curl this leg slowly underneath you. And again, see if you can hover that foot before stepping it down towards the top of the mat. Good. Let's draw that back leg in until you can get the heel down onto the floor. Slowly. Let's lift. High, no, not high lunge. Warrior one. Good, right foot. Slight shimmy out to the right hand side. Good, then start to reach forwards. Swoop the arms back as you fold over your front knee. Breathe. Good, let's start to lift the heel on the left foot. And then when you're ready, lift that leg away from the floor into your warrior three. Good, let's gather that leg in. So we come to standing with the leg lifted. Again, cross that leg across the knee. Take the arms wide as you sit back and fold forwards. Keep breathing. Good. Reach yourself all the way back up and then send it back. So you're reaching your hands back and your leg Good, drop the foot down where it was. Re-reach your hands towards the ceiling. Deep breath in, fold. Good, step yourself back into a plank. And then take yourself down through chaturanga and back into cobra. Breathe. Good, let's lift those hips and send ourselves up and back into downward facing dog. And again, when you're in your downward facing dog, just sway your hips from side to side.
When you find your love, you'll find your song. Even though you've been digging through the
Good, we're going to walk our hands back again the way we did, one palm behind the other, until we come towards the back of the mat. Good, and then roll your body up. Good. Now I want you to look down at your mat and imagine that there is a line drawn down the center of your mat. Now I want you to pretend that that is the only part of the mat that you're able to touch. And we're going to walk an imaginary tightrope. Okay, and this is a way to try and help us strengthen our balance or improve our balance as we move. So first of all, bring your right foot into that central point that you've seen on your mat. And then we are going to systematically bring our left foot so it's touching the big toe of our right. And then walk ourselves along this imaginary mat. So we're going to do this one more time, but with a variation. Okay, so just nice and slowly walk yourself as if you are only able to touch that line until you get to the top of the mat. Good, once you get to the top, take the legs hip distance apart, reach your hands up towards the ceiling and fold. Good, bring your hands to the floor, step yourself back, go into downward facing dog and walk your hands back to get yourself back to where we were. Good, we're going to do the same thing again. The only thing that's different is we're going to close our eyes. Okay, so set your first foot up, right or left, it doesn't matter. Good, and then bring the other foot in front. Now once you've got to this point, close your eyes and see how different it is to a tightrope. Walk your way up the mat. Try and strengthen the arches of your feet. And when you finally feel the top of the mat with your toes, just take a look about whether you kept to the line of your mat. I've veered off to the left. And just note how difficult it is to do that with your eyes closed. Good, when you're ready, reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Bend the knees deeply and fold. Good, hop, step or fly yourself to the back of the mat. In your plank, I just want you to dip between the outside of your left foot, outside of your right. So you're twisting all the way up to your shoulder blades. Good. Then take the hips high into downward facing dog. When you're ready, right leg lifts towards the ceiling. Bend the knee and open the hips up to the side and look underneath your right armpit. Good, curl this leg round underneath you and step the foot up in between your hands. Good, inhale to lift into high lunge and then pull yourself out, lowering your left heel so you come into warrior two. Take a look at your feet. And when you're happy with the foundation, bend into that front knee and bring your arms out. Good, turn and look over your right hand. Good. Now from here, we're going to reach forwards. Bend our right elbow and then take a diagonal. So bringing our left arm over, turning to the left. Good. Bring yourself back to where you were. Again, reach forwards, elbow, diagonal. Keep that bend into the knee. Good, and bring yourself back. Last one. Forwards, elbow, diagonal. Good. Now from here, keep your left hand where it is, but then take your right arm to reach in the same direction as your left. So you're coming away from your knee and then bend deeply. Good, then lift yourself all the way back up. Warrior two. Deep breath in. Exhale, pivot your hands down towards the floor. Unplug your back heel. Good, send yourself back and up into a three-leg dog. Good, lower that leg halfway. Pull yourself forwards into a three-leg plank. And then lower yourself down through chaturanga and up into cobra or upward facing dog. Good, tuck your toes and go back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Good, when you're ready, left leg lifts. Curl that leg underneath you and step the foot up in between your hands. Good, inhale, let's lift into a high lunge and then bring yourself out into your warrior two. Again, look at your feet, make sure you're happy with your foundation and then bend deeply into that front knee and bring your arms out. If you can't see your big toe because your knee's blocking it by rolling in, try and move that knee out so you're opening up your hips. Good, and then again, we're gonna lean forwards, drop the elbow, take diagonal. Keep that bend into the front knee. Good, come back to center. Reach forwards, bend the elbow. Arm overhead, diagonal. Good, and then back to center. Last one, reach forwards, bend the elbow. Reach over, but then this time, take the harder variation of reaching your left hand off as well. Breathe. Good, and then come all the way back up. Good, take a deep breath in. And then pivot your hands down towards the floor. Unplug your back heel. Take it back into a three-leg dog. Lower halfway that back leg. Pull forwards into a plank. Lower yourself through chaturanga. Back into cobra. And then press your hips back into a child's pose. And just take a moment here to breathe and let your breath slow down. Let your heart rate slow down. Have complete control over your breath, deciding when you want to take that inhale and when you want to take that exhale. Good, and when you're ready, roll yourself up so that you are on your knees. Good, tuck your toes. Unless, of course, you're super confident with your camel pose and you actually would prefer to have your feet flat. You've all been doing yoga long enough that you know what I mean by that, I hope. Good. When you're ready, let's take our arms behind our back, make a fist and press it into our lower back. Option here also is to just turn the fingers pointing up towards the top of the body. Okay, that's an alternative if you wish. Draw the elbows together, then take a deep breath in and lift your chest. Good, now it's tilting back time. So keep your hips where they are and just tilt your body back. If you wish to aim to hit your heels with your hands, then go for it. And reach that chest as high as you can. Or if you've got your toes untucked and you still want to reach for your heels or the floor, take whatever variation you like. Good, and then roll yourself all the way back up. And then take your hands forwards right off the top of the mat so that your hips are still over the top of your knees. Hands are forwards and you're letting your chest sink down towards the floor. Letting your forehead rest down as well, if you can. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Good, and then nice and slowly, draw your hands back towards the top of the mat. Good, step your feet back into a plank and then lift them up into downward facing dog. Good, left leg lifts, curl it underneath and take a pigeon. So left knee behind left wrist, toes out to the right hand side. See if you can shuffle your right leg back. Good, come high onto your fingertips. And there's an option here to bend the back knee and point your toes towards the ceiling. Good, if you want to go further, you can always reach your right arm up and round to take hold of your back foot. And again, there's another stage here to lift your left hand towards the ceiling if you wish. You could be in any number of these different variations. Good. Wherever you are, bring yourself back to that first variation of just pigeon. Good. Plant your hands into the mat. Lift your back knee away from the floor. Slide your left leg back. Take yourself through chaturanga, up into cobra, and then flip over onto your toes and back into downward facing dog. Good, let's do the same thing on the other side. So right leg lifts, curling it underneath you, taking pigeon on the right hand side, shuffling your left leg back as far as it is able to go, coming high on your fingertips. Again, this may be where you stay, working on squeezing your knees together. Or you may wish to bend your back knee. You may wish to cycle your left arm to take hold of your back foot. You may even wish to lift your right arm up. Wherever you are, have control and breathe. Good, and then nice and slowly, drop everything back to that first stage. And then again, press your hands down, slide your foot back into a plank, lower yourself through chaturanga and up into cobra before pressing yourself back to child's pose and then rolling yourself up onto your heels. Good, let's shift ourselves round and onto our bum. And swing your legs around. We're just going to take a nice, easy, simple forward fold. So take your legs straight. Make sure that you're sitting yourself nice and upright. Using anything to wedge underneath your bum if you need it, if you feel like you're rolling back. Good, then when you're ready, take a deep breath in and lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And fold forwards, leading with your chest. Letting your hands land wherever they land. No need to aim for the toes if you can't reach them. And press your chest forwards. Feel that stretch running up the backs, sides of your legs. And even into your lower back as well. Good, then roll yourself up. Good, bring the soles of your feet together. Take your knees nice and wide. Press down with your hands or fingers, but sit your body up nice and tall. And breathe. You are welcome to close your eyes here while you just let gravity or the weight of your arms open and stretch your inner thighs. When you're ready, bring your knees back up towards one another. Give yourself a little squeeze. Good. Making sure you're lengthways along the mat. We're going to lift our knees away from the floor. Good. And we're going to take our arms parallel. Now lean back quite a lot here until you're right on the edge of where you feel like you're not going to be able to hold it. Good. Once you've got yourself to that part, we are going to straighten our left leg and reach our right arm further forwards and up than the left. And then we are going to swap it over. Okay, and we're going to make these variation of bicycle movements with our legs. So just keep those nice steady movements. Good, last one. And then slowly bring yourself down towards the floor. And once you get fully down onto the mat, just stretch your toes forwards. Reach your fingers towards your toes. Stretch out your shoulders and your neck. And then start to draw your knees in towards your chest. Gently rock yourself from side to side. And breathe. Just doing circles on your lower back. And if you're moving, whichever direction you're moving, take yourself in the opposite direction. Good, let's draw our knees close and close and closer to our chest. So we're really squeezing them up. Good, let's take them a little wider. So we're opening up our legs as well. Now taking hold of just your right knee, I want you to extend your left leg up and straight. And then do the same thing just on the other side. So draw that left knee back in, open up those legs. And then let the right leg do the same thing that your left just did, reaching up towards the top and back. Good, still with those legs nice and open. Thread your hands through the center and take hold of the outside of your feet. So we've moved into happy baby. Just gently rock yourself from side to side. Then slowly drop your feet down towards the floor. Bring your hands down to the floor as well. Knees are still bent. Bring your knees to touch. And then nice and slowly, windscreen wiper movements with your knees, taking them over to the left and then over to the right, to the left, to the right, left and right, left and right. And then bring your knees back towards the ceiling. And then slowly press your feet forwards. And do whatever last movements you need to do before you bring yourself into your final resting pose. Just noticing which parts of your body are touching the floor. And then just trying to let those areas broaden. Start to let your jaw go slack. Start to let the tongue broaden. And breathe. And let your mind drift. Let your belly become soft. And then nice and slowly, start to regain your breath. Start to let your belly swell. Nice and slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And in your own time, start to draw your knees back in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And slowly roll yourself over to the right or the left-hand side. And press yourself back to your seated position that you took at the beginning of the class. And then when you're ready, let's take a deep breath in together. And then sigh it out. And flutter your eyelids open. Thank you for joining today, everyone. I hope you have a good rest of your Tuesday evening. Make sure you drink plenty of water. But to all of you who have joined this evening, for anyone watching along later, you can bow and say Namaste. Thanks, everyone.